What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, I want to give a shout out to Town Biggers. He did a video, I think it was early this morning. I think he did two videos talking about Tom Brady. And these are my thoughts, okay? Of course, yesterday, the New England Patriots were eliminated by, I believe it was the Tennessee Titans, by the final score of 20-14. The Patriots just did not look like the Patriots. They haven't really looked like themselves all season, especially the second half of the season. And Tom Brady obviously is in decline. I mean, we've seen some signs of it the last maybe 3 seasons. Saw some of it last year, but really this year is the first year you really see that Tom Brady has slowed down tremendously. It happens to the best of them. You know what I'm saying? If they play long enough, it happens to all of them. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, though, that most great quarterbacks usually know when to call it quits. You know, fortunately, Peyton Manning was able to go out on top, although his individual play had precipitously declined. The team around him was able to kind of cover that up with their defense. They were able to win the Super Bowl that year, which was his swan song as far as NFL games is concerned. He went out on top. Then you have the other situations where Dan Marino was probably the best passer in the NFL during his heyday, the 80s into the mid 1990s. One of the best passers, along with Joe Montana, Warren Moon, those guys. But his last couple of years, especially that last year, he was kind of atrocious. You know what I'm saying? I always remember that historic loss they took to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think it was 62-7. I think it was the 99 season. And various other quarterbacks, whether it's just a decline in overall play, injuries like Troy Aikman. Most of these guys know when to leave. Tom Brady, on the other hand, it seems like he's going to have to be forced out in some way. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, when I say forced out, it may possibly even be injury. Okay? And you don't want to see that with a guy. But as you get older, the risk of injury increases. I mean, your body's become worn out after playing year after year after year in the NFL. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, Tom Brady, although he has been protected somewhat because of the rule changes, and he doesn't really get touched up as much as some of the quarterbacks in the past, and some of these black quarterbacks, not so distant past. But that's another issue, another video. But still, this is a guy that's been playing in the NFL for what, almost 20 seasons. He has a lot of wear and tear, right? The velocity of his throw is down. His accuracy, he just doesn't. His speed, he just doesn't look the same. You know what I'm saying? And I've always had this theory about Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit back like this guy's not a great quarterback. But I've always had this theory. As great as he is, he's a bit of a system quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I respect guys. People can say what they want to say about Peyton Manning and his playoff success. But one thing I can say about Peyton Manning is he was able to go from the Indianapolis Colts and play at an MVP caliber level. And then he was able to go to a whole other team, a whole different system with Denver. Had a great first year. And had a great first year. And he's coming off that neck injury and the surgery. Had a great first year. And then had a historic, second year it was? When he had 55 touchdowns. Tom Brady, I've always thought that Belichick's system and the players around him elevated him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always suspect that if you put him in another team, he would be a really good quarterback, but he wouldn't look as special. And I think if he does play for another team, because I think his days as the Patriot are done. You know what I'm saying? Talbot says something in his video I agree with, man. I think it's getting to a point where, with the exception of his wife, his family, and the extreme Tom Brady fanatics, I think a lot of people are kind of like fatigued with him, you know? And it is kind of selfish for a guy who's 42 years old. All right, I think by next season, if he was to play, he'd be 43. Why are you still playing at that age? You know what I'm saying? You're kind of taking up a spot for another guy, another young up-and-coming dude. Because if he plays for another team, that aura is not going to be there. You know what I'm saying? That aura of invincibility, which kind of has faded this season, it's going to be even worse. Because he's not going to be accustomed to, the systems and the plays. And it's not going to be as smooth when he goes to another team. You know what I'm saying? And he has to go to a really good team. He has to, at this stage of career, he's going to have to go to a contender. Because if he just signs with some mediocre team, Tom Brady might not make it the whole season, man. I'm willing to bet if he goes to a mediocre team, he's not going to make it through the season. All right? Now, yes, this is coming from a fervent New England Patriots hater. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be as fair as possible in this video because a part of me wants to jump up for joy that I think the Patriots dynasty is dead. But at the same time, there's no excuse for their dynasty to have continued as long as it did over our division. You know what I'm saying? They've won this division. They've won the division for the most part since 2001. Here we are in 2020, well, basically 2020, but the season 2019, and they won the division again. 18 years later, 19 seasons later. You know what I'm saying? That's on the other teams in the division to step up. That's on my team, the Bills, who I think probably will start being the team that dominates that division come next year. You know what I'm saying? But that was on us. That was on the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? That was on the Jets to step up in all this time. And for the most part, except for a little period of time when the Jets on the retro round were trying to make a little noise, but ultimately the division has been in New England's for 2 decades. All right, but I think the dynasty is dead. But the thing about it, this is the question too. People have always questioned whether it was Tom Brady or whether it was Belichick. And there's always been a little bit of friction between the two. Both of these guys have egos, especially Belichick. So this is the year where, well, next year, if they separate, this will prove whether or not it was Tom Brady or whether it was Belichick more. I mean, I know both of them contributed, but some people think it was a little bit more Belichick. Some people think it was a little bit more Brady. I've always been of the opinion that it was Belichick, you know, but we'll see. The best evidence I have of that is that even Tom Brady was out, and I think it was Matt Castle, and they went 11-5 that year. They went 11-5, and Matt Castle looked like, you know what I'm saying, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So much so that he was able to sign a contract with, I think, the Kansas City Chiefs, and he never again looked the same way with any other team that he did with the Patriots. because I've always that cemented my belief that it's more of the system. So next year, if the New England Patriots are able to put in some quarterback, you know what I'm saying, able to put another quarterback in, and they look good, and they win double-digit games, um, while Tom Brady languishes on another team, then you have your answer. Who deserved more of the credit over the past 20 years? But in conclusion, I think that Tom Brady is a great quarterback. He's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the winningest quarterback in Super Bowl history. All right, in modern NFL history. Uh, but you know, if I were Tom Brady, you know what I'm saying, I would consider retiring because I mean, all in all, then again, a lot of times people don't remember the way you kind of over time the the fading years kind of fade from people's memories. You know what I'm saying? Like as years have passed, people don't bring up the Wizard years for Jordan as much as they used to. They remember him as a Chicago Bull. And as time goes on, people are going to forget about the last, 2 or 3 seasons Kobe played when he was clearly not the same guy. And we're so far removed from Willie Mays' days with the Mets when he looked like a shell of a shell of a shell of the player that he was with the Giants. People don't remember that, you know what I'm saying? So at the same time, look, if this guy feel like he can play, let him go to a team, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we're wrong. But I'm willing to bet that, you know, Tom Brady's just going to look even worse next year. So tell what you guys think, man.